friends, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week of December the 6th through December the 12th. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with the Sacred Geometry Frequency deck, and we will take a card and save it for the end of the reading for the final guidance. And let's begin with the Lightworker Oracle deck to see what are the guiding messages and major themes for Gemini as they move through their week. Keeping in mind that December 4, there was a solar eclipse that brought in so much closure and healing energy, giving us the inspiration, that sudden spark we all needed to just resolve what needs to get resolved. And one way or the other, one way or the other to just sort of put some closure to things, put some things to bed, put some things to rest. Okay, Gemini, what are the guiding messages and major themes here for Gemini? Ooh, there we go. Ooh. Okay, those just are gonna fly out of my hand. Okay, let's have a look here, Gemini. Oh my God, so interesting. A lot of the same messages coming through, like very similar messaging here for, I took the bottom of the deck as well, for all the signs. Very interesting. These two cards, all three of these cards have featured. Now, we start with the bottom of the deck here of Hold Your Center. Okay, Gemini, so you better get ready because something's going to shift here. You're going to be receiving some sort of sudden inspiration, a new idea, you're going to find yourself being drawn towards something that you almost have no sort of ability to understand where this is coming from. If you're not, already spiritually inclined, it's going to feel like it's coming from nowhere. And it's going to lead you into two aspects here. We see spiritual decree and dark angel. I'm going to start with dark angel because it's number 30 and it is ahead of this card, which is number 41. And I like to think of these cards as being a sequence of events. And so I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to receive this inspiration, this new idea, some sort of thought form will approach your mind, and you will sit with it. And then dark angel here suggests a time where you are facing your shadows. You are facing your shadows. You are doing that shadow work to see the hidden mysteries that are the dark mysteries, right? The things that motivate the parts of yourself that you sort of don't even like to think about too much. But it's almost like you're being called towards this because this shadow work is going to heal you. This shadow work is going to integrate the fractured parts of yourself that you have sort of left sitting in the shadowy corners where in your mind, where you don't have to see them. You don't have to pay attention to them. They're not in the spotlight. You don't have to really face them. You can stay just hanging out in the light and not look in the corners. But it's almost like you're going to be drawn into that. And it's because you are starting to understand your truth and how to speak your truth and what that truth is. And this spiritual decree is sort of the idea of you having this inner wisdom. As you look at this image, you can sort of see the picture. You can see the story. It's someone who has this inner knowing, this deep inner wisdom that they want to share and express with the outer world. And it's about finding your voice. It's about holding your ground as you find your voice, and also holding your ground as you sort of delve deep into those darker mysteries within your psyche, and to heal them, to dive into them, not to judge them, not to be ashamed of them, but to love them into being a part of you, and to not have any judgment over that process. And then to speak about it, to speak your truth, whatever that truth may be, Gemini. We're going to jump into the tarot cards to see if we can get some more information here. But, it's interesting to see these themes because I feel like that to me represents this truth that we are all connected. I mean, to see so many similarities in the readings, and I always use I use about 3 decks in every reading, and it's like really interesting to see the same themes because I feel like the collective is going through this shift, and it's just taking on a unique expression for the different individuals within this collective that is all united anyway. So yeah, it's really, really interesting. Let's jump into the tarot here for Gemini. What is the presenting situation here for Gemini as they move through their week? And what is creating any obstacles here for Gemini? So their current situation is the Judgment card that just flew out, and another one flew on the floor as the obstacle. Seven of Cups. So yeah, you're trying to assess a situation that's closing out. You are waiting for the final judgment. You're waiting for the verdict. How did you do, karmically speaking? Did you do harm? Did you learn something from this situation? Who were you when you were in this part, this cycle of the story? What archetype did you represent? This is about getting all those answers. It's that part of the story when you start to understand everything. Like we said here, you start to understand the dark mysteries, right? You start to understand it's the part of the cycle where it's time to clean up. It's time to clean up your mind, including all the corners, all those shadowy corners, so that you can see the karmic weight of your responsibility, your action, your inaction, your role that you played in the story. And this card invokes such a feeling of release, especially this particular version of the Judgment card, because it's time to let it all go. Once you get that final judgment, you have to move out. It's you can't stay here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. This phase is over. And the obstacle for you is this idea of, okay, now what? Seven of Cups. But the interesting thing about the Seven of Cups in my mind is that none of these cups serve you anymore. This is almost like that last sort of moment where it's like, am I really walking away from this? Am I really walking away from this? And it's like the emotional part of you is still attached meaning to some of these options, but they don't serve you anymore, Gemini. They don't serve you anymore. And it's a very interesting time. The Seven of Cups is Scorpio energy, which is all about sort of sudden transformations that lead you from one aspect to the next in a very sudden sort of life and death, rebirth kind of way. And I feel like this Seven of Cups is that moment just before you step through the illusion and say, it was none of those options. None of these options serve me. This whole thing has been an illusion the whole time, because this is finished. I'm done. I have to walk away from this and move towards the next aspect of my time here. This is very interesting. Let's see what is top of mind here for Gemini. What is top of mind? The Knight of Swords sort of flipped over, so we'll consider him. What else is top of mind with this Knight of Swords? Knight of Swords suggests that you're rushing in to have a communication. Top of mind also is the Knight of Cups. So perhaps you're rushing in for a love communication. Maybe you feel like you have to reach out before, maybe your dark angel has to do with reaching out after someone where you want to declare something. Maybe that's your spiritual decree is, I do declare, it's interesting to see these two knights together as sort of what's top of mind for you. Top of mind is a communication. You're rushing in to reveal your feelings. You're rushing in to reveal your feelings here. What is driving this? What is driving this for Gemini? The Five of Wands. Oh, okay, Gemini. This is very interesting. You are needing to really pay attention as you are leveling up. You're leveling up and you're being guided to hold your center, I think, because things are changing at a rapid pace here. This Knight of Swords moves in quickly. When he moves in, this Knight of Swords comes in to get us ready to, again, sudden departures from the normal patterns, right? Sudden shifts. So it's almost like Gemini is rushing towards this sudden shift. And and the energy is building, but it's building towards an emotional revelation with this Knight of Cups. And it's coming at a time where you're leveling up. You're leveling up and you're needing to sort of pay attention to why you're doing this in the first place. And I feel like you're going to understand that more as you close this cycle, and whether or not you rush after this. Oh boy, I just feel like you are rushing in to create sudden change. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're the one creating this sudden change, and you're doing it by almost bringing in an offer. I feel like you're bringing in an offer to someone else, and it's very interesting. Let's keep reading on that. What is this offer Gemini is proposing after they do this spiritual work? They're chasing after, or a situation involving a new dimension of love. Interesting. Perhaps to close it. Perhaps to close out that chapter. Perhaps to close out that chapter. Yes. 7 of Swords. There is something you're going to see the truth about. This could all be part of that Dark Angel sequence. We could be building up to the Dark Angel as we get further into the tarot cards, where there's a cycle that's needing to close out. And the only obstacle ahead of you here is this, you choosing to close it out. A part of you just wants to rush in to declare your feelings, but it's over. 10 of Swords. This situation is no longer serving you. So as a result, you're leveling up. You're leveling up because this situation is going to reveal to you that there was some deception here. There was some deception here. You're going to have to start over and look at this in a new way, because this union wasn't in harmony. This union was not in harmony. It wasn't what you thought, Gemini. It wasn't what you thought. This is really, really interesting. Now, that Knight of Swords represents Gemini. I keep wanting to say that, but then I'm just getting swept away with all of this. So this is you. This is you running towards something, wanting to make a declaration, but it's towards something that no longer serves you. This is becoming more clear now, Gemini. I think that this situation is going to trigger this sort of quest into the darker shadows. I think it involves a relationship here. If I'm not mistaken, this involves a relationship that was not in balance. What's on the bottom of the deck? 3 of Wands. This is a time where you're going to start envisioning a new future, and it's not going to include this. You are going to put this cycle to rest. You are going to put this cycle to rest, and in the future, we see the Empress. You're going to create something new from this, the spiritual decree. That is very interesting. This whole cycle of wanting to run back towards something is going to reveal some dark truth to you, which is going to help you level up into envisioning a new future for yourself where you're the Empress, where you're creating something with all of the aspects of yourself that you're sort of bringing back into integration. You're going to be healed and give birth to something magical here that really is the truth, not this 7 of Cups that's trying to distract you. Yeah, it's almost like you're going to go back to get confirmation, but you don't see it as confirmation. You're going back for a genuine start again. You want to restart something here, Gemini. But you're going to find out, if you do, you're going to find out that that situation is truly over, and that there was stuff going on that you didn't know about. There were hidden secrets here that you weren't privy to, and they're going to come to light. And I love that this Page of Swords, it's got light bulbs and a book. Like, you're going to find out some information. It's going to shed some new light on something that you right now think is a true blue connection, and it's not. I'm sorry to be the bearer of that, but it's just not. But you're going to step into something that is really authentically you. And this was all designed for this purpose. Yeah, the 4 of Swords. Once you heal from this, you're going to realize, even though this really did sort of break your heart, you're going to realize just how how important it was in your journey, because by healing from this, you're going to understand your truth. By healing from this, you're going to understand your truth. Ooh, that just flew out on the ground. One sec. Yeah, by healing from this, you're going to understand your truth, Page of Wands, and then your new direction. So this heartbreak of a situation that is over, that I feel like you might run back to or have already gone back to, is the healing from it is going to show you your new direction. And we see the Eight of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So, and the Eight of Wands behind that. So I say it was all worth it. It was all worth it, because you're going to become a master. You're going to understand so much about yourself from this, and you're going to really, really have that intuitive and imaginative spark of really knowing yourself in a very, very profound way. And this spiritual decree is you speaking your truth. And we see the Hermit. So this is going to take some reflection. You're going to have to sort of internalize all of this, which is, again, that dark angel, right? Like it feels like the pain of this situation is going to create so much introspection that you're going to understand so much wisdom from this experience, and you're going to be guided to hold your center as you incorporate and internalize that wisdom and then speak your truth. Wow, Gemini, really, really interesting, really interesting. Let's see what oracle card you had. Transition. Wow, just like Aquarius. Aquarius got transition. That's really interesting, you guys. Okay, I'll read it to you. It says the frequency of transition. Just one second. This spiritual decree and hold your center. And was it Dark Angel? I can't remember, but Aquarius got these cards too. That's really interesting. Okay, the frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transitions to occur with ease and grace. Very interesting, Aquarius, or not Aquarius. I'm just thinking about the Aquarius reading had so many of the same messages. This is really a time where you are transitioning into a deeper phase, but it's almost like you're going through the pathway of some mental and some heartbreak, some mental break and some heartbreak. Like something's really going to challenge your ability to understand it, right? That's what I mean by the mental conflict. And then it's also, when I see that Knight of Cups, I feel like you're rushing in with a declaration of let's try it again, let's love, let's reunite, let's do this over again. And you're going to find out that it was not what it was, really. It was something else all along. And that's going to spark this whole new path for you, because it's going to force you to let it go in a sense. You're going to surrender to the process when you learn the truth, and you will let go. Wow, I'm going to leave it at that. Whew. If this has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, you can find my email in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and watching. And we'll see you again very soon for another reading. Sending you lots of love and light, my friends. Take care.